our hips and to help improve some awareness of how the leg bone moves in our hip socket by simply doing this, right? Just both feet on the ground, and we can just roll like so, right? And then you get into your whole hip and kind of roll around. But here's what becomes really interesting is if I now move my leg bone up like this, now my femur is in a different orientation in the pelvis. And even when I rotate it, it's in a further different orientation of the pelvis. So now when I'm here, I can actually get into different parts of my hip. So by playing around with how that leg bone is positioned in the hip socket, you'll get into different areas. Now, what I also want you to know is that a lot of times people will see someone using a ball on the hip in this way, and they'll make an assumption, oh, that's for the piriformis. Now remember, the piriformis is a really small muscle in through the hip area. And there's a ton of the gluteal muscles here, and other muscles in this area that we have to actually work with this. So it's not just the piriformis that you end up working with, it's all of this hip stuff. So again, the idea is you can get into just rolling out the hip and just kind of rolling around. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. And this orientation of this leg bone relative to the pelvis and relative to the torso will give you one experience. Then as you rotate and move that leg bone into flexion, you're going to experience something a little bit different simply because the orientation of that femur head in the hip socket is in a different position than it was down here. And then even if you're doing something on the ground or like this, again, it's different again. All right, so just keep in mind when you're playing around with using these self-massage techniques or awareness techniques with these massage balls, is to think about the orientation of your parts and how that impacts how you use them and just how you feel overall. Okay? Have fun exploring. Till next time.